Are you struggling? Not like that, but on the trails with your shoes. Or maybe you have no idea what you're about to face on your next off road adventure. Well, this is not a cheesy advertisement. This is the only video you will need if you're looking for a trekking shoe buying guide or the best trekking shoes you can get, specifically in India. Now, this will not only just be based on the features and everything on the surface, but the most important thing, that is the budget. Yes, the budget. So I'll be dividing this video into 5 segments, and you can skip to whichever part you like. I'll mention all the timestamps in the description below. So let's begin. So why can't you just simply go on a trek with your normal sports shoes or hiking shoes? Well, honestly, you can consider them for day treks, day hikes, where you'll just be walking for a few kilometers. The backpacks you'll be carrying will be light and the trails won't be that tough. So you'll apparently want a light and flexible pair. But in most of the cases, you'll be going for high altitude treks where you'll be trekking for several days. And you'll be walking on all sorts of terrains: snow, dust, mud, slush, water. And you'll also be carrying a very heavy backpack. So you'll be needing something that can withstand all that weight, doesn't hurt your feet, and is durable enough to face all of these situations. And these shoes are specifically designed for the same purpose. And after all, when it comes to trekking, hiking, walking, shoes are what you should prioritize more than anything, because it's your feet that is going to keep you moving. So better keep them safe. Now, you might already know this, but a lot of people have this misconception of taking hiking shoes and trekking shoes the same. Hiking is just simply walking long distances on terrains that are not that tough, built roads. You might want to consider them for day hikes, day treks, like I talked earlier. And when you take this journey to the off-roads, off terrains, then it becomes a trek. Your hiking shoes are not very different from the common sports shoes. You can take them as better sports shoes instead. And whenever you go out there looking for trekking shoes and you find hiking shoes being available for a relatively less price, then there's a reason for that. I still remember when I went to Decathlon looking for shoes and I saw that hiking shoes were available for a less price than these ones right here. And I went like, hiking shoes ही तो हैं, ले लेता हूँ, बन जाएगा मेरा काम सस्ते में. नहीं. If you're spending money on something, you want to make sure that you're buying the right thing. And a few things that you should look out for are the breathability and comfort of a shoe. You want to put on a shoe and feel all that comfort, like you've placed your feet in the right thing. Then I think the water resistance in a shoe is one of the most important things. I don't even think a shoe is a trekking shoe if it's not waterproof. In most of the cases, you're always going to find water in one way or another. Of course, until you're walking in the f***ing desert. The high ankle support prevents ankle twists and so many injuries, so of course it's always better to have that extra protection. And sure, you want a good grip with those deep grooves. If you're going for a high-end shoe, you're probably gonna get all of these things in that one single shoe, but here we are talking about this mid-range section, 5,000, 6,000. So you'll find a lot of shoes that are lacking one of these things, so make sure you're not buying one of them. One last thing that you should take care of is that when you're testing a shoe, you should make sure that there is a little bit of space in there for your feet to move around, because when you're trekking, your feet needs to adjust to the surface of the trail. So it should not be a very tight fit like you would go for in case of your sport shoes. There should just be a little bit of space in there, otherwise it's just gonna hurt your feet and maybe even result in blisters. It's a fact that when it comes to trekking shoes in India, there are not a lot of options available. Well, from a perspective there are, but right now we are considering a lot of things like an acceptable mid-ranged price and ease of access, because not everybody knows about that one secret shop with all those cheaper trekking shoes with a lot of names. And companies like Salomon and all, they are good, but they are just way too expensive. And then there is Decathlon. The good thing about Decathlon is that it's a big chain and you can always easily find one of these stores. They are spread all around the place. This right here is the Trek 100 shoe from Decathlon, and I too did a lot of research before I finally went for these ones. And this is just a whole package. This has literally everything you would need in a trekking shoe. I went on Kedarkantha in Chandrashila trek with these shoes, and there's the link if you haven't seen the video yet. They have had snow and slush stuck on them for hours and hours, and so many times I ended up telling myself that okay, they are definitely wet now. But I was only surprised at the very end. You can get these from around 5,500 to 6,000 depending on the offers and everything, and you can trust me, these are literally the best ones you can get in this price range. This video is not sponsored, it cannot be sponsored, so you'll get a factual, true, honest opinion from my side. So yeah, you can definitely go for these ones without a second thought. And I guess they even look good. You can wear them every now and then. हाँ मतलब शादी में तो पहन के नहीं जाओगे. There are still options if you at moment don't have a budget for shoes and you just want to get your work done, but you cannot also completely rely on one of these things. Just consider them for a few situations. So if it is one of your first treks, you're probably going with a travel group or a travel company, and they are likely to provide you with all sorts of trekking and traveling gear that includes these shoes. So you just have to confirm this thing from them first. Then if you are going for a trek that is quite well known, you can always find these shops around that trek where you can rent these shoes. But again, before being completely dependent on this thing, do your research first. And at the very last, this is something you can really consider. There are these army stores. It totally depends on where you live if you can find them or not. Just Google them. Even if you cannot find any of these stores around your place, you can always visit them on your way to your trek. So yeah, this is something that applies to everyone. So you can find these really good shoes there that are very similar to trekking shoes, and they can really get your work done for a trek or two. You can get them for a very reasonable price in less than 2,000, and not only that, there are a lot of other trekking and camping gear you can find there, so you can definitely consider them. And in the end, you should never consider something right in the between 3,000, 4,000 until you are very sure, because in that case you'll just be wasting your money if it turns out bad. So you should just spend a little bit more money and go for something good, something that lasts, something that is durable, or just not spend any money and go for one of these budget options. So yeah. So that is it for this video. I hope it really helped you in getting an overview about all of these things. And if you have questions regarding anything that I might have missed in this video, then just sure let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching.